Hello everyone, Let's Investigate here. Today we'll be talking about an unsolved case back in 1948 in Adelaide, South Australia. It had been over decades, but the case still remains unsolved. There are still a lot of people trying to solve the case this day. This is the most mysterious case in Australia, the Tamman Shud case, also known as the mystery of the Somerton Man. On November 30th, 1948, it was a hot Tuesday. Australia is located in the southern hemisphere, so it is summertime during November and December. So the beach is the best place to hang around. Somerton Beach, which is located 7.5 miles southwest of Adelaide. There were a lot of people during the day at the beach, but people started to leave around 7 p.m. after the sunset. A couple was enjoying the breeze while walking along the shoreline. They saw a man laying on the beach, had his head completely against the seawall and his feet facing towards the sea. The man slowly raised up his arm and dropped it back down limply. The couple was confused by the bizarre behavior, but did not think too much of it, thinking the man must have had a little too much beer during the day. Around 8 p.m., the beach is pitch black as the street lights were turning on. Another couple saw the man laying in the sand, but without any movement. The couple decided to walk over to check on the man and make sure everything is alright. As they were walking over, they saw a man with the tie around his neck, neatly dressed, and just laying there. We all ought to know it is summertime in Australia. It is definitely odd to dress up like this if you're planning to go to the beach. They realized the man was still breathing, and probably just had a little too much beer during the day, so they didn't want to be over his personal space and left him there. The next day, the first couple who saw the man on the previous day came back for the morning swim, and saw the man was still laying there, at the exact same spot, with the exact same posture. They decided to walk over to see what's going on, but soon realized the man is dead already. The couple was shocked because they knew he was here since the previous night and he was still alive. They quickly called the police, and the police came to lock down the area for further investigation. The man was around 40 years old. He was dressed in a white shirt, a red, white and blue tie, a brown knitted pullover and fashionable double-breasted jacket, brown trousers, socks and shoes, but he wasn't wearing any hats. During the 1940s, wearing a hat was a norm, so it is a bit weird to see the man without the hat. There were no external wounds on the body, nor any signs of fighting and strangling, so the police initially thought the man must have been drugged. A search of his pockets revealed an unused second-class rail ticket from Adelaide to Henley Beach, a bus ticket from the city that may not have been used, a US-manufactured narrow aluminum comb, a half-empty packet of juicy fruit chewing gum, an Army Club cigarettes packet which contained 7 cigarettes of a different brand, a quarter-full box of Brian and Mary matches. On the next day, they did an autopsy on the body. 180 centimeters, gray eyes, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Hands and nails that showed no signs of manual labor. Fit body type with developed leg muscles. He died on December 1st, around 2 a.m., with multiple swelling internal organs, especially the pancreas. The size is around 3 times larger compared to that of a normal person, but forensics did not detect any drugs in his system. There was some pastries left in his stomach, eaten 3 to 4 hours before death, but the forensics are convinced that the man died of poisoning. Due to the limitation of medical technology during that time, doctors are not able to detect the kind of poison in the system. However, Cedric Staton Hicks from the University of Adelaide ran a drug diagnostic test and came to a conclusion that the man died from a powerful poison. But the confusing part is, usually, this type of poison will cause intense nausea and vomiting, but the forensics did not detect any vomit around the area. According to the report from the police, the man was wearing a pair of dress shoes, and the bottom of the shoes were really clean. It doesn't seem like there were any wear and tear. The police thought he might be poisoned somewhere else, and the body was moved to the beach afterward. And maybe this could explain why they did not detect any vomits around the area. Australian police were unable to identify the man because he wasn't carrying a wallet nor an ID card. They also tried to match the man's fingerprint with their database, but was once again unable to identify the man. Australian police desperately needed to identify the person, so they broadcast about this mysterious death on TV, in hope to get some clues for the case, but still nobody can identify the man. After a month, a staff at the Adelaide railway station discovered a brown suitcase with its label removed. It was believed that the suitcase was owned by the man found on the beach. In the suitcase, there was a red checkered dressing gown, a size 7 red felt pair of slippers, 4 pairs of underpants, pajamas, shaving items, and a light pair of trousers. All identification marks on the clothes had been removed, but police found the name T. Keane on the tie, Keane on the laundry bag. Police believe that whoever removed the clothing tags either overlooked these 3 items or purposely left the Keane tags on the clothes to mislead the police, knowing Keane was not the dead man's name. A search concluded that there was no T. Keane missing in any English-speaking country. Police checked incoming train records and believed the man had arrived at Adelaide railway station by overnight train from either Melbourne, Sydney, or Port Augusta. They speculated he had showered and shaved at the adjacent city baths before returning to the train station to purchase a ticket for the 10 a.m. train to Henley Beach. After 3 months, a tiny piece of rolled up paper with the words "Tamman should" printed on it was found in the secret pocket sewed within the dead man's trouser. Public library officials were called in to translate the text, identified it as a phrase meaning "ended" or "finished," found on the last page of the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. But the police was unable to find this particular book with the ripped page in the back. In 1949, after making a plaster cast of the unknown man's head and chest, the body was buried in Adelaide's West Terrace Cemetery. After a few months, a man walked into the police station holding a copy of Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam and said, "I don't know how this got into the trunk of my car. I parked around Somerton Beach before. I didn't think this was anything until I saw the news." The police examined the book right away and found that there was a tear in one of the pages. The police soon realized the paper found in the man's pocket matches the missing piece in the book. There were also 2 handwritten numbers. One is from the bank. Another one is a residential phone number, which is located only 400 meters south of Somerton Beach. The phone number belongs to a nurse named Jessica Thompson. But when the police brought her in for a talk, she said, "I have no idea who this person is, nor have any idea how he got my number." She seemed like she doesn't really want to cooperate with the police, and her statements were vague, like she is trying to avoid certain topics. When she was presented with the plaster cast, she showed extreme fear and anxiety and refused to see again. With all the strange behavior, she still stated that she does not recognize the man. Later, Jessica told the police that during World War II, she gave a copy of Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam to Lieutenant Alfred Boxall. The police thought the mysterious man was Alfred Boxall, but when they contacted the Australian police, they brought them the copy of the book, which was without a missing piece. In the back of the book were faint indentation representing 5 lines of text in capital letters. The second line has been struck out, a fact that is considered significant due to its similarity to the 4th line and the possibility that it represents an error in encryption. Code experts were called in at the time to decipher the lines, but were unsuccessful. The cryptographers reported that it would be impossible to provide a satisfactory answer. If the text were an encrypted message, its brevity meant that it had insufficient symbols, from which a clear meaning could be extracted, and the text could be meaningless or product of a disturbed mind. The police discovered that Jessica had a son, and from the look of the kid, there were some resemblance with the man from the Somerton Beach. Unfortunately, DNA technology wasn't as advanced as today's, so they were unable to match the DNA of the baby and the man. There had been persistent speculation that the dead man was a spy, due to the circumstances and historical context of his death. Anatomy professor from University of Adelaide pointed out that the mysterious man's ear has a very different structure from that of a normal human. Another orthodontist pointed out that the man has congenital odontoid. This is an extremely rare genetic disease, and these 2 traits were found on Jessica's son. The chance of possessing these 2 traits is nearly impossible. In 2007, Jessica Thompson passed away. Her daughter, Kate Thompson, was invited to talk on the show in 2014. She told the host that she thinks her mom might know who the Somerton Man was. She also thought that her mom and the Somerton Man were both spies. Jessica was passionate about teaching English to the immigrants, but she was also fluent in Russian. She never told Kate where she learned Russian, and why would she learn it? Until this day, the death of Somerton Man was still a mystery. No one knew who the person was. If he was drugged, why would someone do that? And what type of poison was used? Who is the Somerton Man? Maybe Jessica is the only person that knows. Or maybe if we can decipher the code, the answer will finally be revealed to us. It had been more than 70 years since the death of the Somerton Man. Hopefully one day, there will finally be answers and a confirmed identification for the mysterious man.